I have seen thousands of faces in consultation throughout my career. I have touched skin that was once firm and luminous, and I have felt how with the passage of time, it loses its elasticity without the person understanding why. For years, some of the worst cases of sagging and premature aging I have seen were not caused by the sun. It was not genetics. It was not only age. It was caused by something that many people believe is always good. Vitamins and supplements used incorrectly, taken with the best intentions, but working against the skin. Today, I will reveal the 3 vitamins you must avoid taking because they cause sagging, wrinkles, and damage the skin after 60. Let's begin. After 60, your body changes. Your skin produces less collagen. Your hormonal levels decrease. Your ability to absorb and use nutrients is no longer the same. The average adult over 65 takes several supplements at the same time. Each one was studied separately, but almost no one analyzes what happens when you combine them in a body that no longer works the same. I want you to meet someone. I will call her Marta. 68 years old, retired teacher. She always took care of herself. She used sunscreen, drank water, ate well, everything that you are supposed to do. But in the last 2 years, she began to notice something that deeply confused her. Her skin became thinner, more sagging, deeper wrinkles around the mouth and neck. It was not just aesthetic. She felt her skin empty, without structure. She consulted 3 specialists. The same answer: Marta, it's age. It's normal. 2 years hearing that. When I reviewed everything she was taking, I found the problem in less than 5 minutes. It was not one, it was 3 factors acting at the same time. We will come back to Marta later because her story explains exactly why you need to watch this video until the end. Now, the 3 vitamins. Vitamin number 1, collagen. Poorly used. Collagen is probably the most popular supplement after 60. Powders, capsules, drinks. Everyone takes it thinking it is the direct solution for wrinkles. And yes, collagen can help. But here is the problem that almost no one explains to you. The collagen you consume does not go directly to your skin. Your body breaks it down into amino acids, and then it decides where to use them. And this is where the real problem begins. Your body does not prioritize aesthetics. It does not care if you have wrinkles or sagging. If it needs those amino acids to repair muscles, organs, or vital functions, it will use them there first. The skin is left in second place. This means that even if you're investing money every month in collagen, you have no guarantee that this effort will be reflected in your skin because your body will always prioritize surviving before looking good. If your body does not have enough vitamin C, zinc, or copper, that collagen simply does not turn into firm tissue. And this is key to understand. Vitamin C is not optional in this process. It is essential for collagen synthesis. Without it, that collagen you are taking cannot be properly organized into strong fibers. But there is something even deeper. Vitamin C also protects existing collagen. In other words, it not only helps create new fibers, but also prevents the ones you already have from degrading faster. Zinc participates in cellular repair. Copper in the formation of elastin, which is what gives your skin that ability to return to its place, and without elastin, you can have collagen, but not real firmness. It is that combination that gives tight, elastic, and youthful-looking skin. Without these coactors, you are not building firm skin. You are accumulating raw material without structure. It is like trying to build a house without cement. You have the bricks, but there is nothing that binds them together properly. Even worse, many older people take collagen in excess, thinking that more is better. But the human body does not work that way. It is not a storage tank where you accumulate and automatically improve. There is a limit to what you can absorb and use efficiently. And that limit also tends to be lower with age. When you exceed that limit, effects can begin to appear that almost no one associates with collagen: heavy digestion, a feeling of bloating, fluid retention, and in some cases, skin that looks inflamed but not firmer. Many people confuse that slight swelling with improvement when in reality, there is no true tissue reconstruction. The real result in some cases imbalances in the extracellular matrix fluid retention skin that appears inflamed but not firm. And here another key concept comes in. The extracellular matrix is the scaffolding of your skin. It is what gives it support, density, and resistance. If that system is disorganized, the skin loses structure even if you are consuming collagen. And there is something even more important that is almost never mentioned. The quality of collagen matters. Not all supplements are the same. Some have low bioavailability. Others contain fillers or forms of collagen that the body does not use well. Some collagens are properly hydrated and others are not. Some come from cleaner sources and others do not have the same purity. And all of that directly influences how much of that collagen is actually used by your body. In addition, if there is not enough stomach acid, the digestion of collagen becomes less efficient. And this is more common than you think after 60. Many people have slower digestion or lower acid production, which reduces the ability to properly break down proteins. That is to say, it is not only about what you take, but whether you are actually absorbing it and, even more important, whether your body is in a condition to use it. Marta was taking collagen every day, but without the necessary coactors. 2 years, no results. And the most frustrating thing for her was this. She was doing everything right, but she was not seeing changes. That creates a very common feeling thinking that the problem is you when in reality the problem is the approach, because no one explained to her that collagen does not work alone nor that the internal context of the body is what determines whether that supplement works or not. The right question is not should I take collagen? It is can my body use it properly? And I will add a second question that can completely change your results. Am I creating the internal environment necessary for that collagen to actually work? And if you want to go even deeper, there is a third question that almost no one asks. Am I removing the obstacles that prevent my skin from regenerating? Because many times the problem is not the lack of collagen, but everything that is interfering with its use. Before continuing, write everything you take down here in the comments. Every vitamin, every supplement, every dose. Good. Let's move on to vitamin number 2, vitamin A in excess. This is where many people are surprised. Vitamin A is essential for the skin. In fact, retinoids are one of the most effective treatments against aging. But there is a big difference between using it in a controlled way and consuming it in excess. And that difference is not small. It is the line between regenerating your skin or progressively weakening it without realizing it. Many skin supplements contain high doses of vitamin A. Some people even combine several without realizing it. For example, they take a multivitamin in the morning, a hair, skin, and nails supplement at midday, and another antioxidant at night, all with vitamin A included. Each one separately seems harmless, but together they can easily exceed what your body needs. The problem is that vitamin A is fat-soluble. It accumulates in the body. Unlike water, soluble vitamins, which the body eliminates when there is an excess, vitamin A is mainly stored in the liver and in fat tissues. That means you do not need to take large amounts for years to have problems. Sometimes weeks or months of sustained excess already begin to generate visible effects. And what happens when too much accumulates? Extreme dryness, peeling, loss of elasticity, thinner and more vulnerable skin. Exactly the opposite of what you are looking for. But there is something even more important that you must understand. Vitamin A regulates cellular renewal. That is, it controls the speed at which your skin regenerates. In appropriate doses, this is positive. It removes old cells and stimulates new ones. But in excess, this process speeds up too much, and the skin does not have time to strengthen between cycles. The result is skin that renews quickly, but without solid structure. It becomes more sensitive, more reactive, more prone to irritation from the sun, the cold, or even mild products. Many people believe this is part of the treatment or adaptation. It is not. It is a sign of excess. In patients over 60, this is even more delicate because the skin is already naturally losing hydration. There is also less production of natural lipids, which are what keep the skin barrier protected. If you add excess vitamin A to that, you are weakening that barrier even more. And when the barrier weakens, something key happens. The skin loses water more quickly. This translates into more pronounced wrinkles, a feeling of tightness, and that paper-like skin appearance that many people notice over the years. In addition, there is a silent effect that is almost never mentioned. Excess vitamin A can interfere with the balance of other important vitamins such as vitamin D and vitamin K. And that imbalance also indirectly impacts skin health, regeneration, and elasticity. Marta was taking 2 different supplements, both with vitamin A. No one had added up the doses. And that is exactly what happens in most cases. It is not that a person is taking something incorrect. It is that they are taking several correct things at the same time without knowing that together they can become a problem. That is why beyond asking what you are taking, there is a much more important question. Am I unknowingly accumulating more than my body can handle? Because when it comes to vitamin A, excess does not improve your skin. It wears it down little by little until one day you notice the change, and it has already been happening for some time. Subscribe to the channel if you want to continue taking care of your skin. Let's continue with vitamin number 3, vitamin E in excess. Vitamin E is known as a powerful antioxidant, and it is. But in excess, especially in the form of high-dose supplements, it can generate an unexpected effect. And this is where many people get confused because they have heard for years that antioxidants are good without understanding that the body works in balance, not in extremes. And that concept balance is absolutely key to understanding what is happening to your skin because the body does not seek to have more antioxidants. It seeks to have enough at the right time and in the correct proportion. It interferes with the balance of other antioxidants in the body. It can alter the natural inflammatory response of the skin, and in some cases, it has been associated with a lower capacity for skin regeneration. The skin needs a fine balance to repair itself, and that balance is much more delicate than it seems. It is not simply about having antioxidants, but how they interact with each other within a complex system. Because yes, inflammation has a bad reputation, but at controlled levels, it is necessary. It is part of the repair process. It is the signal that tells your body there is something here to rebuild. Without that signal, the body does not fully activate the regeneration mechanisms. When you saturate the system with antioxidants, you can turn off that signal more than necessary. And this does not happen in a dramatic way from one day to the next. It is subtle, progressive. You simply notice that your skin no longer responds the same way. The result: skin that does not regenerate with the same efficiency, slower repair processes, and a feeling of stagnation where no matter what you do not see real improvement. Many people at this point begin to change products, try new creams, spend more money without realizing that the problem is not what is missing, but what is in excess. Too much antioxidant can be just as problematic as too little. And there is another key point that is almost never mentioned. Vitamin E does not act alone in the body. It works together with other antioxidants, such as vitamin C and glutathione. This system works like a network. When one acts, another regenerates it, another complements it. But when there is an excess of vitamin E, that balance is broken. And instead of protecting, it can start to behave inefficiently within that system. It can even displace or interfere with the optimal functioning of other antioxidants, generating the opposite effect of what you are looking for. In addition, since it is fat-soluble, vitamin E also accumulates in tissues. That means that just like with vitamin A, the problem is not only what you take today, but what builds up over time without you noticing. And here is one of the greatest risks. Since there is no obvious immediate effect, the person continues taking it for months or years, convinced that they are doing the right thing. Many people begin to notice their skin looking duller, less responsive to treatments with an uneven texture, and they never relate it to an excess of antioxidants. They start to think that nothing works for them, that their skin no longer responds, when in reality, the system is saturated and unbalanced. Marta was taking vitamin E every day thinking she was protecting her skin. In reality, she was altering that balance, and she was doing it with the best intention like most people, because this is not a problem of neglect. It is a problem of incomplete information. No one explained to her that even something good in excess can become an obstacle, and that is exactly the point where many skin and care routines stop working. Not because something is missing, but because there is too much of what should not be in excess. Do this right now. Write in the comments. I am committed. I want to see who is ready to take control of their skin. Now look at this. Collagen without coactors. Excess vitamin A, excess vitamin E, all three at the same time for 2 years. And this is where the real problem appears. It is not a single factor. It is the sum of small imbalances sustained over time. And this is what most people do not see. It is not a big, obvious mistake that immediately draws attention. It is something much more silent, much more progressive, small decisions repeated every day. One supplement here, another there. A recommendation that seems harmless. But when that is maintained for months or years, the body feels it and the skin reflects it. Each product seemed healthy on its own, and they were in the right context, but out of balance. They began to work against the skin instead of helping it. And here is a key point that almost no one considers. The body does not interpret supplements as isolated things. Everything enters the same system. Everything interacts. Everything adds or subtracts. No one connected the dots because each specialist saw a part but not the whole. One recommended collagen, another antioxidants, another vitamins for the skin, and all of them were right from their perspective. But no one stopped to analyze how they interacted with each other within the same body. And that is one of the biggest gaps in the current approach. The symptom is treated, something specific is recommended, but the complete system is rarely evaluated. So we did something simple. And here is one of the most important lessons in all of this. Improving does not always mean adding more. Many times it means removing what is in excess, because excess also harms. Excess also ages. Excess also unbalances. We did not add expensive treatments. We did not perform invasive procedures. We adjusted the basics. And when I say the basics, I mean what truly makes the difference and is often overlooked. Doses, combinations, absorption, timing. We reduced the excess. We balanced the doses. We added the correct coactors. We also reorganized the timing of intake, improved absorption, and above all, we gave the body back something it had lost, balance. And that balance is not an abstract concept. It is what allows each system to function as it should, for the skin to repair itself, for nutrients to be properly used, for the body to stop compensating and start rebuilding. 6 months later, Marta returned for consultation. And here it is important to understand something. It was not a change from one day to the next. It was progressive, natural, sustained. Her skin was not that of a 30-year-old, but it had recovered something much more important. Structure, elasticity, life. The texture was more even. The firmness had improved. The wrinkles, although present, no longer looked sunken, but softer. Even her expression had changed. It was no longer just an aesthetic matter. It was how she felt in her own skin. "Doctor, I feel that my skin responded again," she told me. And that phrase is key because when the body is in balance, it responds. You do not need to force it. You do not need to saturate it. You just need to stop interfering with what it naturally knows how to do. That is what impacts me the most after so many years. Not the complexity of what went wrong, but the simplicity of what corrects it. Vitamins are not enemies. Supplements are not bad. The problem is how they are used and what no one explains to you about their interactions. And if there is something that summarizes all of this, it is this. It is not a lack of information. It is a lack of integration of that information. Because when you understand how everything connects, that is when you truly start to see changes. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone who also wants to take care of their skin. Discover the 5 T's that deeply eliminate wrinkles. Click here. See you in the next.